Good morning at 6:03. Robert and Erin, 101.7 FM and 710 KEEL. Miss Erin, very proud of herself. I'll tell you why in a second or two, and she has local news up next.
Concern about the safety net hospitals in our state. We'll talk more about that. Could the riverboats be expanding? That's coming up, too. And do you want to be a free-range parent?
Be a free
Sounds
range
like chickens.
Chicken, yeah. Exactly. Expand the casinos. In which direction shall we expand them? I am intrigued by that. Okay, so I'm like old, okay?
Yep.
And on Facebook, if you're about 30, all you see last night is on Facebook is Mark Zuckerberg ran rings around all those old guys, all those old senators. So my question is, what is it that I don't get? What is it about digital that I don't get? We will discuss that. Fletcher in sports and traffic and weather, and it's all coming up this hour, and it's right here on KEEL.
The power of information. KEEL News now.
Louisiana's safety net hospitals in danger after budget cuts. Reuben Wright with more.
Health officials in Louisiana and managers of charity hospitals spent Sunday and Monday in Senate House budget meetings making the case against cutting their budgets. They worry that the cuts will hurt medical education and safety net hospitals. Louisiana officials are currently trying to figure out how to close a $700 million gap in the budget year beginning July 1st. From 101.7 FM and 710 KEEL, I'm Reuben Wright.
Meantime, Governor John Bel Edwards and the Health Secretary unveil a report on the economic impact of Medicaid expansion. Edwards says, according to the report, Louisiana is saving more than $300 million in state money and providing medical care to those who can't afford it.
The concern I have is that when you have a bill like this, you really push a false sense of security on parents that by purchasing this, their kids are safe if a shooter enters a school.
Obviously, that's not the governor. The governor says we can do more to save money from our state. Shreveport police currently searching for 2 car thieves that happened to steal a car with a 1-year-old child inside. Shortly after 7 yesterday morning, The mother of the 1-year-old was on her way back to the car to retrieve her child when two black men wearing hoodies jumped in and drove off near Uri Drive with the child still inside. The car was recovered not far from the crime scene. About 15 minutes later, the 1-year-old is safe. A bill to allow the 15 licensed riverboats to expand their gaming operations onto land and to change the rules regarding gaming space has been sitting on the Senate floor for over 2 weeks, but a vote in the upper chamber could happen today. Senator Troy Carter says that many senators are concerned about the numerous pieces of legislation that are seeking to expand gaming in our state. He says it is a big problem that we all should be concerned about.
You know, we have land-based, we have riverboat, we've got video poker. Then now there's measures to go forward with sports betting.
Black lawmakers have also raised concerns that casinos fail to contract with enough minority-owned firms. They also believe there's a lack of minorities in management at the gaming halls. John says he had good dialogue with several concerned lawmakers, but he says more dialogue is needed.
I think that in the long run, the Senate will see the wisdom of what we're trying to do, and I feel good about our chances of passing this.
Wimple Road in Bossier receiving improvements for future projects, with plans scrapped to build a new Walmart on the corner of Wimple and Airline. Bossier city officials are still improving the street in hopes of future development in the area. The widening of the road and addition of a turn lane is behind schedule due to heavy rains in February. The need for emergency repairs has forced the closure of a bridge in Caddo Parish. The Louisiana Department of Transportation has closed off the bridge over Caddo Lake on Highway 1. Structural damage there is being assessed. A bill to ban the sale of assault rifles to people under 21 has been killed on the Senate floor. The 9-26 vote ends that anti-gun legislation for the rest of the session. Baton Rouge Area Representative Bodie White says the bill is still not strong enough to stop the bad guys.
And I don't know that this bill fixes that. How do you fix that person that is delusional and thinks about killing people and killing children?
Louisiana Senate will hear cases for abolishing the death penalty after a 4-1 vote from the Judiciary Committee. The bill will roll back the death penalty on capital offenses committed after August 1st, 2018. Now, this, however, will not be helping the 70-plus inmates who are currently on death row. As thousands of National Guard troops deployed to the Mexican border, Attorney General Jeff Sessions is also traveling to the region, where he'll speak about immigration to a meeting of sheriffs. And Utah already has a law legalizing free-range parenting, and now leaders from New York and Texas are pushing for similar steps to bolster the idea that supporters say is an antidote for anxiety-ridden parents and overscheduled kids. Critics say letting kids strike out on their own can expose them to serious dangers, though. But lawmakers and advocates in several states say the protective pendulum has swung too far. I'm Erin McCarty on 101.7 FM and 710 KEEL.
From a public health perspective, we're saving lives in Louisiana, and we're ensuring that our workforce is healthy and ready to fill the jobs that we're creating all through the state.
Budget year beginning July 1st.
Meantime, Governor John Bel Edwards on the economic. Louisiana is saving more than and providing medical care to those who.
The concern. The concern I have is that when you have a
Good morning. It's 10 past 6 o'clock, 1017 FM, 710 KEEL. KEEL app, a free download. Don't ever forget about that, please. Traffic update. Back again today. Here's Brandon.
Traffic moving very slowly on Interstate 20 near the I-49 exit as a tractor-trailer fire has at least 2 to 3 lanes shut down. Other than that, most roads are clear in the Shreveport-Bossier City area, so be careful out there. And if you see something, make sure you let us know. Call the Planet Fitness traffic hotline at 687-ROAD.
Your AccuWeather.com forecast, mostly sunny today, a nice day with a high of 80. Clear.
The governor says we can do more to Shreveport Police. Guys.
And I don't know that this bill fixes that. How do you fix that person that...
Louisiana Senate will hear cases for abolish on 101.7 FM and 7.
Good morning. It's 12 past 6 o'clock. Robert J. Wright and Erin McCarty at 101.7 FM, 710 KEEL. KEEL app, a free download. Office Furniture Source is the presenter. Where do you want to start this morning? What's on the... I always
I
have...
took my oath of office. Is
the
it
oath of office, exactly right.
I'm the oath of the city.
Indeed you are.
Mm-hmm.
And congratulations on
Thanks.
being sweared in yesterday.
I was sweared in.
To the
There was
city's
no Bible.
To the city's architectural and engineering committee.
Yeah, whatever.
Which caused a little hubbub when you were appointed, when you were requested by the mayor to serve. If asked,
where's all these people when I'm getting sweared in?
They lost.
They vanished.
Yeah, it's too late to object.
Yeah, I guess you're right.
Now, if you saw, in fact, hold on, let me see if I still have a text on that yesterday. So tell me about the swearing in while I am looking for this text that insults you. Boy, John Bell's people a little more than a bit upset about some things that were said on this radio station.
Yeah.
And we heard from them.
Yeah.
I didn't see you having your people call people when they were trashing you and calling you a crook and calling you immoral and calling you a chasm of immorality and walking around with your basket of your empty basket of graft just waiting for people to buy you off.
Right.
And you knew who those people were.
Of course.
I didn't see you sending them emails or calling their bosses to complain.
No, I don't care if people call and complain about me. It was done in the city attorney's office up on the 4th floor, and ran into Dr. Woody Wilson over there, and he said to tell you hi. And, it was real quick. Just raise my right hand and repeat after me. I do solemnly swear, Constitution and U.S. and cities of this and that. Okay, you're good.
Here we go. Here are people.
Haters?
Haters. Here are people assuming that because you took the position that you are crooked. In other words, basically, the standard seems to be for some people, if you want to serve, if you want to help, if you want to be a part of government to try to make it better, then you are de facto crooked.
Okay.
That's how you get rich, is to be on one of those committees and get paid under the table.
Oh, my gosh. Wow. I ran into, by the way.
Oh, my gosh, wow. I mean, I know there's not really much you can say about it.
Yeah.
But what does that say about people and what they assume about city government?
Those people, the people that say things like that, they don't know me. So the people who know me, I know that's not going to happen.
But what is their opinion? Not necessarily of
They're
you.
not right.
But what is their opinion of not you, but the people who serve in positions of government?
There's a whole crowd of people that are very suspicious of government, and they think everyone associated with government is crooked. And I got to tell you, it's not that way. There are some people who are getting rich being in government. But my mother spent 30 years working in government, and no, did not get rich. And she was a state worker for years and years, and getting up every morning and going to the grindstone. What is that? Where you go?
Well, depend. Never mind.
And every day she would be going up to that grindstone and working and doing what she had to do. And she was not crooked. She didn't get rich. But I ran into one of our longtime listeners, Michael Fox, in the elevator coming down, and he recognized me. And I told him, so good to meet you, et cetera. And I said, I just got sworn into the A&E committee. He said, I think you'll do good, but good luck with that. Something like that.
What's the
and
difference?
That makes a difference to me.
What's the difference between good luck with that and the comment about everybody's crooked? Yeah, good luck with how many?
Well, they're worried that if you're one good egg in the dozen, we'll just get all scrambled up in the bad stuff.
That's what I mean.
And I understand that concern, but I'm not a scramble type girl.
The point I'm making is
I'm more a poach type
There are
girl.
so many people who think that our government, that Shreveport City, that the state government, I mean, pick one, is so corrupt it is beyond redemption. And they think that anybody who wanders into that, it's like you are just a poorly dressed Daniel being lowered into the lion's den.
Then what is the fix? No good people can ever go try to do any good?
And that if you are in any way involved with city government, in this case you, that there are people who believe that by your accepting the position means you are part of the problem.
So do we just surrender and say government's corrupt, no good people go help, every good person just stay home and just gripe?
Aren't those the same people that are against everything good that might happen in
Shreveport?
Shreveport? Everything.
I put no merit into those people, to be honest. I put merit into the people who tell me, watch out for these pitfalls. Here's what you need to watch out for. Here's some things to be concerned about. Here's a few people that you might want to steer clear of, or be careful what you say around. I listen to those people who say, here's some specific things that I want you, as our rep on this committee, to go in there and look at and uncover.
What happens next?
I guess I'll get summoned to my first meeting.
When is that?
I don't know. They meet 3 or 4 times a year, so it's not a huge commitment. It's 3 or 4 times a year. It's big piles of documents. I do have to read the ethics thing from the city.
You have it with you?
It's in the car. I think
Go get it.
Yeah, I'll have to go get it.
The city ethics notebook. It's basically like the employee handbook that we sign at the beginning of every year here.
Yeah, it's loaded with all kinds of stuff.
Yeah, you need to bring that in. We need to go over this. Yeah, we need
can't
to read.
take any eggs. Can't take any chickens.
We need to read some of that.
Yeah.
19 past 6. Congratulations, by the way.
Thanks, whatever.
19 past 6 o'clock. 101.7 FM. 710 Keel traffic update right now. Brandon Michael is ready.
Traffic moving very slowly on Interstate 20 near the I-49 exit as a tractor-trailer fire has at least 2 to 3 lanes shut down. Other than that, most roads are clear in the Shreveport-Bossier City area, so be careful out there. And if you see something, make sure you let us know. Call the Planet Fitness traffic hotline at 687-ROAD.
Your AccuWeather.com forecast. Mostly sunny today. A nice day with a high of 80. Clear with a low of 55 tonight. High 82 with sun and some clouds tomorrow. With your AccuWeather.com forecast, I'm meteorologist Heather Zayer.
Is it time to sell your
21 past 6 o'clock, time for Keel Sports. Here's Fletch.
Good morning from the sports desk of 1130 The Tiger. This is Tim Fletcher. LSU beat Louisiana Tech 2-0 in a midweek matchup of top 25 baseball teams at Alex Box Stadium last night. The Tigers got 6 two-hit innings from A.J. Levis and a pair of RBI singles from Zach Watson and Antoine Duplantis in the 6th inning to nullify a complete game performance by the Bulldogs' David Leal. Arkansas rallied to beat Grambling State in North Little Rock 7-6 on Tuesday. The Hogs, ranked as high as third in some college baseball polls, trailed 6-3 against the G-men in the 8th inning. Grambling came in number 282 in the country in college baseball's RPI, but the Hogs staved off the upset bid with a 4-run 8th inning. Northwestern State pummeled Lamar 15-3 in Beaumont last night. J.P. LaGreco had a 3-for-5 night with a 3-run homer and 5 RBI. And with Utah's 40-point win over Golden State, the Pelicans can finish no higher than 5th now in the West with only one game to play. The winner of tonight's New Orleans-San Antonio game will be either the 5 or 6 seed. The loser will be either the 7 or 8 seed in the Western Conference playoffs. From the sports desk of 1130 The Tiger, this is Tim Fletcher.
Twenty-four past 6 o'clock. Robert J. Wright and Erin McCarty, 101.7 FM, 710 Keel. City Councilman Michael Corbin joins us what time this morning?
7:40 this morning.
What's that about?
That's about the Hilton Hotel and the Convention Center. Are they making money? Can we do better? Should they be privatized? I mean, should the...
We're in the hotel business too?
Yeah, we kind of are, yeah.
Why are we in the hotel business?
That's just the way we shaped it up. That's the way we did it. You don't like that?
Well, I don't know. I mean, is it for sale?
No, I don't think it's necessarily
Is the city considering?
You want it to be the Robert Wright Hilton?
No, the point I'm making is the city. If the city is in the hotel business and they're looking to sell a hotel, it's because we're losing money, and if they're losing money, they're losing my money.
Yeah, it's not meeting the projections. How's that? Is that better?
That sounds even worse.
That's about right. That's about what's happening. It's not meeting the projections.
So who would buy a hotel that's not meeting projections? Why isn't it meeting projections? Is it not meeting projections because the projections of the convention center are not being met? Are the projections of the convention center not being met because, you tell me, is it not being properly marketed? Is the company running it not doing a good enough job? Is the city in the convention center business too? Who is doing, you see, there's a million questions to ask.
Yeah, there are a million questions, big time.
So I guess that's what we'll talk about with Mr. Mike.
We'll ask Mr. C that, yeah. He's now my boss, so we got to call him boss, so.
He's not, stop it. See, if you play the, look, Never mind. I don't even
know,
want to joke
I know,
about the
I
fact
know.
that now that you are on the A&E committee,
Yeah.
a functioning member of the city's architectural and engineering committee. See, she and I talked about this on the phone. I don't know if it was last night or the night before. But when it comes to politicians, I may have said this on the radio a couple of days ago. Sorry, I didn't. The direction I'm going now, I did not prepare for, so I'm kind of making it up in my head or putting it together as I go along. When we first started on KEEL, we did not anticipate, believe it or not, this is going to sound silly now. We didn't anticipate how serious politicians took their jobs.
Oh, man.
And what we mean by that is, if you mess with us a little bit, we will come back with you with everything we've got.
Yeah.
And at some point, because I've said this a dozen times, at some point we're just a couple of disc jockeys. I mean, here's the deal. They need to take it less seriously.
Right.
Which they'll never do because it's their power base. It's their
That's
job.
what they
It's their
do.
careers.
Yeah.
It's what they are all about. So what I said was, and basically what my friend Tommy said about this whole John Bell mess, said, dude, take a joke.
Yeah.
Just
exactly.
learn it. But they don't.
No, that's not what they are.
They don't. And
that's not who they are.
It's the equivalent of, if you're one of those people who thinks Donald Trump shouldn't tweet, then you also need to get in line with politicians shouldn't call people, because it's the same thing.
Yeah.
It's basically the same thing. Let nothing, no matter how big nor how small, go unchallenged. I get that. Now, the thing is, what I was going to say was, maybe they need to take it a little less seriously.
Right.
And we, for certain, need to take it more seriously.
Yes, I'm with you.
We need to, and I said this, did I say this? No, I said this to another friend of mine.
We can't be calling people morons and insane.
Well, when we do, we need to be ready for blowback.
You bet.
In other words, we need to...
I told you the day you said it.
We need, of course, you said moron. We need to develop a belly for the battle.
Oh.
In other words, we have to be ready for the phone to ring, and not let it get to you.
It doesn't get to me.
I was speaking
right. Yeah.
Well, okay. The last one did kinda. You kinda went hair on fire a little bit.
Well,
you kinda did. You
Not
started
really.
calling other political consultants you knew and said, "What should I do?"
No,
And they said, "Fire Robert."
No, they did not. No, they did not. Nothing of the sort. Nothing of the sort. I want to make sure that we're doing it right. That what we're doing right. That was my reason for the call.
Mm-hmm.
I'm like, we're not here in the morning to be objective and tell, all. We reflect our audience in a lot of cases. Sometimes we do ask the devil's adversary questions, and we try to tell both sides of a story, but we're not going to agree with what the governor says all the time. Very rarely, to be honest. And that's just the nature of the beast.
I am sorry if I hurt his feelings.
Ooh, you said the S word.
Yeah, I know. Well, I don't want to hurt somebody's feelings. You think I hurt his feelings?
Yeah, we don't want to hurt people's feelings. No, he's...
You think John Bell's feelings were hurt?
No,
Why else would he want me to apologize?
His feelings got hurt.
I think he did.
You think?
Why else would he want me to apologize?
All he wants is us to be nicer to him and be more open to his ideas.
Well, actually, not he. His
peeps,
people.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Who are believe me, that was the equivalent of Donald Trump's Twitter on the phone the other day with you. 29 past 6 o'clock, 101.7 FM, 710 KEEL. I'm a really old guy, and and I'll explain why in the 40 segment. And it has to do with Mark Zuckerberg, and it has to do with Zuckerberg at the Senate speaking before those two committees yesterday.
I've got Zuckerberg coming up.
And I need young people to explain to me why I'm like just, there's things I just don't understand about, digital. What don't I get? Because I am old. 101.7 FM, 710 KEEL traffic time. Here's I'm so old I forgot. Here's Brandon.
Big traffic slowdown Interstate 20 at I-49 due to a tractor trailer on fire and emergency services trying to contain the scene. Traffic could be down to one lane in that area, so please make sure you allot yourself a little extra time. If you see anything else, make sure you let us know about it. Call the Planet Fitness traffic hotline at 687-ROAD.
Your AccuWeather.com forecast. Mostly sunny today. A nice day with a high of 80. Clear with a low of 55 tonight. High 82 with sun and some clouds tomorrow. With your AccuWeather.com forecast, I'm meteorologist Heather Zayer.
Hey, this is Martin.
The power of information. KEEL News now.
Facebook CEO Mark Zuckerberg answering questions before a joint congressional hearing as the social media platform he built faces serious accusations of mishandling data. Speaking with Senator Cory Gardner, Zuckerberg says Facebook has been hacked before, but said no user data was stolen.
Has there ever been a breach of Facebook data? A hack?
There have been, I don't believe that there's been a breach of data that we are aware of.
Has there ever been a hack?
Yes.
And have those hacks accessed user data?
I don't believe so. I think we had an instance back in 2013 where someone was able to install some malware on a few employees' computers and had access to some of the content on their computers, but I don't believe that they had access to data.
Never affected the user page?
I do not believe so.
Okay.
Facebook is accused of mishandling user data after it allowed data mining firm Cambridge Analytica to use information on up to 87 million users after that data was supposed to have been deleted. A bill to allow the casinos to expand gaming operations onto land has been sitting on the Senate floor for a couple of weeks, but a vote could happen today. Senator Ronnie John says requiring the boats to only conduct gambling on water prohibits those facilities from making a substantial investment in their properties.
We're the only state in America that has gaming that requires these boats to, quote, be over water.
But some are objecting to this bill, saying that it is an expansion of gambling in our state. A bill to ban the sale of assault rifles to people under 21 killed on the Senate floor. Baton Rouge area Senator Bodie White compared these young domestic killers to terrorists.
Some of our mass shootings and running over people, those are terrorists. Our domestic murderers, I think you have to agree that if that's not a terrorist motivation, those people are insane.
The 9-26 vote ends that anti-gun legislation for the rest of the session. Governor Edwards and State Health Secretary Rebecca Gee unveil a report on the impact of Medicaid expansion. The governor says many who have recently been diagnosed with cancer are able to receive medical care with the expansion.
Had we not expanded Medicaid, I can tell you the 623 Louisianans who've been diagnosed with cancer may never have found out they had that illness until it was too late.
Meantime, Louisiana's safety net hospitals say they're in danger after possible budget cuts. They worry the cuts will hurt medical education and the safety net hospitals, including University Health in Shreveport. Louisiana officials currently trying to figure out how to close a $700 million gap in the budget year that begins July 1. Louisiana's Education Department says a record number of public high school graduates have reached the benchmarks required to get taxpayer-financed college tuition through TOPS. More than 19,200 students who graduated last year were eligible for a TOPS award. That's up from nearly 18,400 a year earlier. Car thieves take a 1-year-old on a joyride. Reuben Wright with more.
Shreveport police are currently searching for 2 car thieves that happened to steal a car with a 1-year-old child inside. Shortly after 7:20 a.m. yesterday, the mother of the 1-year-old was on her way back to the car to retrieve her child when 2 black males wearing hoodies jumped in and drove off near Uri Drive with the child still inside. The car was recovered not far from the crime scene 15 minutes later, and the 1-year-old is safe. From 101.7 FM and 710 KEEL, I'm Reuben Wright.
Man versus machine. It's been a theme and a fear ever since the industrial age, and it's not gone away. Research by ADP finds that 1 in 3 workers think their job will be automated in the next decade, and 1 in 10 believe a robot will take their job by 2020. I'm Erin McCarty on 101.7 FM and 710 KEEL.
I'm Dr.
On 7 FM and 710 KEEL.
.101.7 FM and 710 KEEL. Robert J. Wright and Erin McCarty.
Yeah,
kind of intimidated now
you.
that you're on the city.
Oh, are you?
Yeah.
I like that.
Pretty
okay.
awesome.
Good.
21, it just changed. 21 from 7 o'clock. Matt was supposed to be back today, and he's not because he said he told us he'd be back Thursday, when in reality he did not.
Oh, well, he's in jail in New Orleans, so I mean, we haven't gotten the bail money to him.
It's you want to hear a quick story?
Yeah.
And I'm not going to mention any names. And
no names.
And I hope he's not listening.
Matt's not really in jail. I'm joking.
But
people believe that.
There's somebody I know who had this is something that that only a 25-year-old would do. Mm-hmm. And not that I would have done it when I was 25 because I was chicken then and I'm more chicken now. You know the story I'm going to tell.
Yes, there's no way.
And I don't know if you know this one or not looking at Reuben. Somebody went down to New Orleans. Somebody went just to stop there.
Okay.
Somebody went down to New Orleans and had a little good fortune at the poker table. Mm-hmm. And won about $2,000.
Woo!
And then it's like early in the morning, it's like 3 or 4 in the morning.
Oh,
and so they've got $2,000 in their hand, and as they're walking out, this is something only a 25-year-old would do.
Yes.
Or a drunk old person.
Right.
And so as they're walking out with $2,000 in their hand, they go, "What the hell?" And they put it all down on one roll of the roulette table on black, and won, and walked out with $4,000.
Doubled their money.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
So,
hang on, I need to call someone right now.
639, 101.7 FM, 710 KEEL, Mark Zuckerberg and John Kennedy and Ted Cruz, and yes, even me. How do all those tie together? Let you guys know next. Here's Brandon.
Big traffic slowdown Interstate 20 at I-49 due to a tractor trailer on fire and emergency services trying to contain the scene. Traffic could be down to 1 lane in that area, so please make sure you allot yourself a little extra time. If you see anything else, make sure you let us know about it. Call the Planet Fitness traffic hotline at 687-ROAD.
Your AccuWeather.com forecast, mostly sunny today, a nice day with a high of 80. Clear with a low of 55 tonight, high 82 with sun and some clouds tomorrow. With your AccuWeather.com forecast, I'm meteorologist Heather Zayer.
Good morning, 642. Robert J. Wright and Erin McCarty, 1017 FM and 710 KEEL. We have been talking a whole bunch the last few days about Facebook and Mark Zuckerberg and privacy and why you're surprised that there's no privacy and that you ran your little Facebook report or whatever it's called. I have no idea. And you were stunned by everything they know about you, which is everything you do. Mm-hmm. And Zuckerberg, for the first of 2 days, testified yesterday before a joint committee, the Senate Judiciary Committee, of which Louisiana's John Kennedy is a member, and the Senate Commerce Committee, I believe, was the other. And here's the deal. And I want you to help me with this, but you probably can't because you're old. And no. You'll see, when I read to you what I'm about to read, you'll understand what I mean. Because the common thread on social media, and I've got a couple of theories about this. I want to know what you think. Because the common thread from people, I don't want to say millennials, but let's say people in the 30-year-old range, 25 to 35, maybe a little older, maybe a little younger. Mm-hmm. But the common thread of them, of that era, watching Zuckerberg yesterday, well, let me read a couple from Facebook. Okay, because you watched a little bit. You watched what people call the highlights.
Pretty much, yeah.
And if you're pro Facebook, if you lean politically to the left, if you see this as an inquisition, what they didn't waterboard Mark Zuckerberg for the love of it. I mean, come on.
No, they didn't waterboard
Wasn't
him.
really even under oath. But if you lean to the left, pro Zuckerberg, so to speak, you think he killed it yesterday. You think he knocked if you don't, if you lean to the political right, if you're Republican, then probably what you've seen is the highlights of him stuttering and stammering under specifically Ted Cruz.
Sure.
But here, my question is this to people between the ages of 25 and 35. And I'm not sure if you have an understanding of the digital world that I just don't understand.
Okay.
Or if you're just a bunch of snotty little self-centered poops. So help me out with this.
All right.
Okay, here are a couple of Facebook posts about Zuckerberg's testimony yesterday. Zucks is actually holding his own pretty well with the senators. Here's what it's the thrust is basically, I'm too old, meaning me, Robert, and to some degree the senators too, that we're just too old to understand what Facebook and the internet is really all about. Let me read. Zucks is actually holding his own pretty well with these senators. Imagine trying to explain to 19 grandparents who the Google gets their search results into their computer box, or how you can see inside their Facebook machine to get their pictures. And he's having to do this in front of the entire country, and he's not having a meltdown. Then the other one is listening to old people who run our country not understand how the internet works. Scares the hell out of me. So since I am basically the age of most U.S. senators, what is it about digital that I don't get? What is it yesterday they didn't get? What is it that is if you're 30 that you have this instinctive understanding of that the rest of us old farts are just too old and too closed-minded and
we'll never see it.
And we just won't get.
I think I might be on your side of the fence. I'm worried I won't know. I don't know that I'll know.
You see where I'm going? I mean,
frightens me, yeah.
Or are they just being
naive,
little snotty-nosed little poops?
Yeah, whiny snowflakes.
Not snowflakes, just I'm smarter than you because it's digital and it's the internet and you're too old to understand. And it's their territory and they are protecting it, whether you get it or not.
I think that's a lot of it, to be honest.
Here's what...
No offense, snowflakes.
Here's my concern. And we'll talk about this. This will be the thread of the program through the day. And it has to do not only with rights, with constitutional rights, and most of the rights in the Constitution, the Founding Fathers said are given to us by God, a higher power, our Creator, and not from government.
Mm-hmm.
And your big concern about all this Facebook stuff is basically your concern about your right to privacy, which is promised in the Constitution. Look, Facebook originally, let me speak bluntly, and I apologize for phrasing it this way, but when Mark Zuckerberg and whoever else started Facebook when he was in college, Harvard, I believe, I don't know.
Mm-hmm.
It basically was something that a guy made up to try to rate girls and get laid, pardon me, has turned into one of the most powerful things on earth.
Mm-hmm.
Now, the question is, has it gotten so big? Has it gotten so huge that he owes it to you, that Facebook owes it to you to guarantee your rights of privacy, i.e., when you sign up for Facebook, you sort of give away your constitutional rights.
Mm-hmm.
So is it imperative that Zuckerberg, because Facebook has gotten so big, does he have to really now guarantee you those rights? And is it that millennials, people of the 30 or so age, live in a time in their culture where privacy means nothing to them? It means absolutely nothing. Not only do they not expect privacy, they give away their privacy.
Yes.
For absolutely not. So are you just somebody who's old and crabby and you just don't understand the internet because instinctively you say, no, I do in fact have a right to privacy.
Mm-hmm.
I do have that constitutional right, and it should extend to Facebook. And they should guarantee it to me. Is that what the millennials say? You don't understand about this.
No.
We just don't believe in that right. And
No.
if you give away your right to privacy, what other rights are you willing to give away and phase out generation by generation?
Oh, boy.
101.7 FM, 710 Keel. Give me the sounder. I'll do the weather live. I got on a roll. 6:52 KEEL Sports.
11:30 the Tiger. This is Tim Fletcher. LSU beat Louisiana Tech 2-0 in a midweek matchup of top 25 baseball teams at Alex Box Stadium last night. The Tigers got 6 two-hit innings from A.J. Labus and a pair of RBI singles from Zach Watson and Antoine Duplantis in the 6th inning to nullify a complete game performance by the Bulldogs' David Leal. Arkansas rallied to beat Grambling State in North Little Rock 7-6 on Tuesday. The Hogs, ranked as high as third in some college baseball polls, trailed 6-3 against the G-men in the 8th inning. Grambling came in number 282 in the country in college baseball's RPI, but the Hogs staved off the upset bid with a 4-run 8th inning. Northwestern State pummeled Lamar 15-3 in Beaumont last night. J.P. LaGreco had a 3-for-5 night with a 3-run homer and 5 RBI. And with Utah's 40-point win over Golden State, the Pelicans can finish no higher than 5th now in the West with only one game to play. The winner of tonight's New Orleans-San Antonio game will be either the 5 or 6 seed. The loser will be either the 7 or 8 seed in the Western Conference playoffs. From the sports desk of 11:30 The Tiger, this is Tim Fletcher.
.101.7 FM and 710 KEEL 653. I just changed 654. Robert and Erin. The 13th is Friday, right?
Yeah, vote early, vote often.
See, that's what we're talking about is the Mudbugs deal. No, not necessarily just the Mudbugs deal. The $150,000 first prize for Kraft Hockeyville.
Oh, we got to win this.
And we, meaning George's Pond at Hirsch Coliseum, are one of the 4 national finalists for the $150,000 first prize to be presented by Kraft Foods.
Mm-hmm.
There's 3 other ice rinks, skating rinks, hockey rinks across the country we are in the finals against. And it's thank you. And it's about 24 hours of voting, and it literally is which site, which rink, which arena has the most online votes.
Yes, we're going to kick their behinds.
So here's the deal, and we will really push this harder not only today but tomorrow and especially on Friday, is that it is imperative. This is one of those collateral things where during the voting time, not only do you have to vote, not only does everybody where you work have to vote, not only does everybody in your family at your urging, but literally everybody you see. If I go to the barbershop, if I go into Marty's on Saturday morning and there's 7 or 8 or 9 guys in there,
make them all vote.
I have to walk around. I have to understand, have to walk around that room, walk around that shop, stop what you're doing, go to crafthockeyville.com and vote for George's Pond at Hirsch Coliseum.
Yep.
Because it's $150,000.
And Scott Musket would say we need way more lipstick on that pig.
It's imperative that you and I and everybody get everybody we know.
Vote, vote, vote.
And that they get. This is one great big Amway-like thing.
Oh, absolutely.
I mean, it is the grandest pyramid plan of all time.
Treat it like it's a fight at Superior. Tell everybody about it.
Damn, that was good. We got to go. 6:56. Here's Rush on KEEL.
Traffic moving very slowly on Interstate 20 near the I-49 exit as a tractor-trailer fire has at least 2 to 3 lanes shut down. Other than that, most roads are clear in the Shreveport-Bossier City area, so be careful out there. And if you see something, make sure you let us know. Call the Planet Fitness Traffic Hotline at 687-ROAD.
Breaking news and trending talk. This is 101.7 FM and 710 KEEL. KEEL, Shreveport.
Good morning, 3 past 7 o'clock. Robert and Erin, 101.7 FM and 710 KEEL. Down yonder, Miss Erin has local news up next.
The hunt for some car thieves. We'll talk about that story. Will the riverboat casinos be able to expand? That's coming up this morning, too. And Mark Zuckerberg is on the griddle.
Christian Hicks is KEEL's first top cop. More to come, but we will chat with that awesome young man in just a couple of seconds. Remember now, I'm almost 66, so, I mean, he could be 62.
Yeah.
If he does, he looks really good for 62. Fletcher in sports and traffic and weather, and it's all coming up right here this hour on KEEL. 9 past 7 o'clock, 101.7 FM and 710 Keel traffic update. Brandon Michael is ready.
Looks like the only thing in the way of your commute this morning, a minor accident. Shreveport police are on the scene. East Burt Coons near Metroplex Drive. If you do see something else, call the Planet Fitness traffic hotline. Give us a shout on that at 687-7623. 687-ROAD.
Your AccuWeather.com forecast. Mostly sunny today. A nice day with a high of 80. Clear with a low of 55 tonight. High 82 with sun and some clouds tomorrow. With your AccuWeather.com forecast, I'm meteorologist Heather.
Twelve past 7 o'clock, 101.7 FM, 710 Keel. Robert J. Wright and Erin McCarty. Mr. Christian, I forgot to mention when you are talking into that microphone what we say, and I'm being totally serious. Not only do we have the Keep It on the Radio slogan that Erin grossly ignores at every opportunity, but I need you to lean forward, never work. It's called Christina Aguilera, that microphone. Never more than 2 fingers away.
We're joined by Corporal Christian Hicks of the Shreveport Police Department. He is our very first recipient of our Top Cop Award. I got so sick of hearing stories across the nation about bad police officers doing this, officers doing that, this officer fired or suspended.
I was just going to ask.
I was tired of it.
Before we talk to Christian and we get a little story about him, he's a Shreveport guy, etc.
Mm-hmm.
But you had the idea. Give folks a little history on your Top Cop idea.
That is exactly it. I had been hearing so much talk about bad officers, the officers do this wrong, and I knew deep in my soul that 99.9% of the police officers out there do great work every day, unheralded, unappreciated, low paid, and putting their life on the line every day. And I said, I got to figure out something. So I called in all the local law enforcement guys who help put this together with me, who run their communications divisions, and said, I want to do this. What's the best way to do it? Help me out. And they helped put some of the guidelines together where we're just letting our listeners and our audience send in nominations for our Top Cop. We're going to pick a winner every month. And at the end of the year, we're going to let listeners vote for who the big winner is every year. And our first winner is Corporal Christian Hicks with the Shreveport Police Department, who was nominated, by the way, by several people. Just give you a heads up. And I don't think one was your wife.
I don't think it was.
Some people got nominated by family members.
She's not even on your side.
Which is fine.
What a shame.
But Christian is a Shreveport officer. Tell us how long you've been on the force first.
I actually went through the academy with this woman right here, Angel Wilhite. I've been there 15 years.
15 years. And you're assigned to what now?
Pardon me just a second. You look about 26. How could you got on the department when you were 11? How did
I'm 37 years old, and
Wow.
I hired on when I was 21. I started the academy at 22.
So another myth about policemen is that they don't have an excellent daily skincare regimen. That is obviously not the case.
Yep. I'm 37. I've been there 15
What
years.
are you assigned to do now? Where are you?
I have been on patrol. I work the west side of town in Cedar Grove, and I've been there for 15 years, my entire career.
Okay. You got heralded for not only your work on the force, but also off the force for rescuing dogs and horses and cats and children. And oh my goodness, do you ever sleep?
Well, you know, I tend not to. I try not to take the job home with me, but after the end of the day, after you make certain calls, it follows you home, and you want to take that extra step and help someone or help something as far as an animal or a person. And I get with my wife, and we do certain things, and you know, we try to do good deeds. Makes me feel better.
He has spent money out of his own pocket when he sees needs.
Pardon me a second. I get the sense that this young man is being somewhat modest about his achievements, his accomplishments, and that extra mile, if you will.
Mm-hmm.
Do you have some of the info in front of you?
Yes. Christian's been a standout police officer and embodies the role of a public servant. He's patrolled the Cedar Grove and Sunset Acres neighborhood for 15 years and is well known and respected by the citizens that live in that area. Even off duty, one incident is cited. He saw a suspicious situation at a store and went inside to check on it. Turned out the store had just been robbed and the owner shot. Corporal Hicks called 911 for an ambulance and stabilized the man while they waited, saving his life. During the Christmas season, he was distributing toys around the neighborhood he patrols, ran out of toys before he ran out of kids who needed them, so he personally went and bought 22 more toys for them so no one went without, paid for them out of his own pocket. That's just one of many examples.
Pardon me, you're here, so let's pretend you're not. I'm in awe of that.
I love people like that. Unheralded. He's not planning on being recognized for doing what he does. It's just the kind of guy he is. I'm pretending he's not here. He's that kind of guy.
I'm blushing for him.
You have tears in your eyes at the moment.
This is pretty impressive.
And Christian is sitting here in front of us today, willing to go out on his shift. When he leaves here, he's going to work.
Yeah.
Willing to get shot for you and I.
I'm not sure I would have phrased it that way, but
that's his everyday life. That's his everyday life. He's willing to go out there, put his life on the line. And when you hear people say put his life on the line, that's a nice way of saying he's willing to get shot for you.
Let's go a little different direction.
Okay, thanks.
What Erin just described is a policeman who, either because of the guys he has worked with when he was younger, and I'm sure you'll credit some of them, but also because instinctively, because of the goodness of your heart, understand and practice daily what your superiors, what politicians always talk about in a cliche, community policing. And that is, to some degree, it's such a cliche, but you live that and work that, and I'm sure that you and a lot of guys you work with do that every single day. Tell us about that a little bit.
Yeah, you know, we go into these neighborhoods and we make these calls with these people. You know, we have maybe just a few minutes from the time we get the call to we get there to really know what's going on. But obviously there's problems lying there that pre-exist long before we got there. And to try to get to those people and get with them and figure out what's really going on and talk to them, it's just an experience that sometimes goes home with me, and you know, I don't just finish it there. Sometimes maybe the next week or two, I'll stop back by to check in on them, try to finish.
Follow it up.
Yeah, just follow up with what.
Hang on a couple of seconds, Erin. You know all those great questions she asked before we went on the radio.
Yeah, I got some more.
Yeah.
And I have a prize for him too.
Okay. Before we go to break, what's the slogan? What's the motto? What do we say? Keep it on the radio.
Yeah.
Keep it on the radio.
So no matter what she asks you during the break, if it is interview related,
I'll ask him his shoe size.
Just say, hey, where's the donuts, girlfriend? 19 past
that was a bad police joke.
19 past 7 o'clock, 101.7 FM, 710 KEEL traffic update. Here's somebody we don't know who.
In the way of your commute this morning, a minor accident. Shreveport police are on the scene. East Burt Coons near Metroplex Drive. If you do see something else, call the Planet Fitness traffic hotline. Give us a shout on that at 687-7623. 687-ROAD.
Your AccuWeather.com forecast. Mostly sunny today, a nice day with a high of 80. Clear with a low of 55 tonight, high 82 with sun and some clouds tomorrow. With your AccuWeather.com forecast, I'm meteorologist Heather Zayer.
Twenty-one past 7 o'clock. KEEL Sports. Here's Fletch. 24 past 7 o'clock, 101.7 FM, 710 Keel. Robert J. Wright and Erin McCarty this morning celebrating our first Top Cop of the month, and it is Corporal Christian Hicks of the Shreveport Police Department. Congratulations once again for
Thank you.
If you guys missed the last segment, we ran down a list of Corporal Hicks' accomplishments, and too numerous to run back down again because we have a shortened segment.
Yep.
I started to ask you off the air a couple of seconds ago. I said you've been on the force, what, 15
years.
15 years. And it is a fraternity without a doubt. Being a policeman is a fraternity. And I'm sure that when you were a young guy, a younger officer, there was a guy or some guys who kind of taught you the ropes. This is how you handle this. This is how you stay safe. This is what you do in this situation. But I'm sure over the same amount of time that there's guys that influenced you. And is there one specifically? Is there more than one? Is your style of policing, is it something of your own that evolved over time? And then after that, are you the guy? In your heart, do you want to be the guy? I would think, yeah, that younger officers look to and say, I want to be like Hicks, man.
Right. Yeah, I train guys, but coming up through the ranks, whenever I was training, I rode with 4 different officers, and I took a little bit from each of them and developed my own way of policing. And I've tried to pass that down to the guys I train. I've been a FTO since, or PTO now, they call it police training officer, since, I believe, 2007. And I've trained, 100 guys that has ridden with me. And, yeah, I try to pass that along to them.
So you kind of are that guy, whether you've made that conscious effort or not.
Right.
What is it about the job that gives you the most satisfaction, that makes you feel the best about your job?
I think just it may sound cliche, but honestly, I like to help people. I do. I like to help people. I like being seen. Rather it be, in the neighborhood, talking to kids.
I would think the most difficult part, not the most dangerous, but the most difficult part, and this is something I would think only an incredible instinct or experience would teach, is to go into a, for lack of a better term, crisis or intense situation, and probably in less than 10 seconds, if you've got that long, to determine who's the good guys, who's the bad guys, who is the threat here, who is not. Do you know what I'm saying?
Oh, yeah, I know exactly what you're saying. I mean, we can go from, my 9-year-old's not going to school to a shots fired call with someone with a gun, and you literally have to prepare yourself. From the time you get that call, from the time you get there, maybe just minutes or, within a minute, and you have to physically, myself, I tactical breathe. I prepare myself for what could happen, and I get there, and when I get there, I'm ready.
Can I ask one more, please? Then you can have the rest of the show.
Hurry, because I got some good ones.
No, okay. I was talking to not long ago a guy who had been in the military, and he had left the military and gotten into police work. And what he said was that the threat, the problem of PTSD, post-traumatic stress disorder, and the way he explained it to me is that most people, when it comes to military, or for that matter police, and let's focus on that they think PTSD is flashbacks or these horrible things you've seen that just never leave your head. And he said in his case, not only from the military but from being a policeman, was not so much that kind of PTSD, but the constant situational awareness, that heightened situational awareness. He said he knew it was time to get out of police work when he said, I go to church on Sunday, and all I'm thinking is, who here could try to kill me? He said, that's when I knew that it was more than I could handle. I would think that kind of stress is something that not only you and family members, but that every officer deals with.
Right. They do. And, it is sad that you have to, anytime you leave and go to the grocery store or you go to church, that, you have to have a gun on you. I'm one of those officers that
you can never.
No, you can't relax. You operate. The average citizen may operate here and you operate up here because even though you may be off duty,
never goes away. Even when you're on vacation, you're always you are so trained in that regard that your instinct is. And you know, cops, does it ever go away, even after you retire?
I've talked to older guys, and I don't think it does. I think once you're a police officer and you've worked in that capacity in law enforcement, I think it carries along with you.
Okay, I guess we're going to just dump news and go forever. What do you say?
What does it take to be a good police officer?
I think you have to have motivation, drive. You got to have a heart. You have to care about people. If you don't care about people, then this isn't the job for you. If you're that officer and you stop caring about people, maybe it's time to look elsewhere.
Let me ask you this. We're talking to Corporal Christian Hicks, Shreveport police officer, 15 years on the job. He's our top cop for the month of April. You can still nominate folks, by the way, if you want to for the May winner.
Yeah, for April. May, I'm sorry.
Yeah, and it's at KEELnews.com. What do you need most from residents, folks that are listening to you now and say, I want to do whatever I can to help the police? What can I do?
Well, here recently I've seen a lot more of it, but I just say support. Support your law enforcement, because a lot of us, we're out there. We're trying to do the best we can with what we have. We do get backed up on calls, but we try to get them answered and taken care of as quick and safely as possible. I say get involved. Let us know if you see something going on in your neighborhood. Flag that officer down.
Don't think someone else is going to call.
No, because someone else may not call. If you see something, report it. You don't always have to give your give your name or your your basic. Just tell them what you see. Help us out.
And if we see you somewhere, acknowledge you guys are not unapproachable, right?
No, we're not. You asked me earlier about extra jobs, and I worked one at a grocery store, and I called my wife. I actually had 2 people come up and thank me, and it made me feel good. Of course, some people they just don't want to approach a police officer. They're kind of scary. They get behind me sometimes like, uh-oh, and I'm a police officer. I've been a police officer for 15 years.
Yeah.
But, approach us. Talk to us. We love it.
Right. And can you hang on for one more segment, because I got a prize for you?
Sure.
And if you're interested, your business is interested in helping donate some of the prizes for our top cop, please be sure to get in touch with me, and we'll connect you, because we're going to give him a prize package here in a minute. And the end of the year, we're going to give a big prize to the year-long winner. So
7:31, it's 101.7 FM, 710 Keel. Traffic update coming up right now. Here's traffic, I guess.
Traffic in the Shreveport-Bossier City area mostly clear right now, except for a minor accident on East Burt-Coons at Metroplex Drive. So be careful there, and if you see anything else, make sure you let us know. Call us on the Planet Fitness Traffic Hotline. That's 687-ROAD.
Your AccuWeather.com forecast. Mostly sunny today, a nice day with a high of 80. Clear with a low of 55 tonight, high 82 with sun and some clouds tomorrow. With your AccuWeather.com forecast, I'm meteorologist Heather Zayer.
Hi, this is Kerry Bryson with the Bryson Law Firm. When dealing with the IRS, there's one thing you can take to the bank. Time is not on your side. Look, it's best to start the resolution process quickly, before the IRS files wage levies, bank levies, or tax liens. At the Bryson Law Firm, we meet people every day who initially hired out-of-town companies only to find out that they can't resolve the issue. When the out-of-town company stops returning calls, clients realize they have wasted time and money, which causes a whole new set of problems. IRS issues are serious legal matters, so it's best and more cost-efficient to hire an attorney from the beginning. Call the Bryson Law Firm today in Shreveport to schedule a free confidential appointment with the tax attorney. Let us show you how we can quickly and cost-efficiently tackle your IRS issues and protect your legal rights. If you have IRS issues, you have legal issues. You need an attorney. You need us, the Bryson Law Firm.
Friday is opening day for the Holiday in Dixie Carnival, brought to you by North American.
734, it's 101.7 FM and 710 Keel. Robert J. Wright and Erin McCarty in studio guest.
Corporal Christian Hicks is our top cop for the month. He's a Shreveport patrol officer, 15 years, and I want to present you with our prize, our goodies that we got from our goodie department, and we're putting the plaque together for you as well. But this is from different local businesses, a pile of stuff you can spend and do what you want with. So I hope you enjoy. And we can't congratulate you and thank you enough for what you do.
Thank you, guys. Thank you. Like I said, whenever I found out, I don't have Facebook. I'm not a social media guy. And I had 2 text messages on my phone. Congratulations, man. Congratulations. And then my wife's like, baby, you're on the news. And I'm like, really? And she's like, yeah. And she sends me the clip. Then Angie sends me the clip. And I'm like, man, that's awesome. Like, where'd this come from? And she's like, well, I don't know. And I'm like, well, I was just blown away by it.
If you're just joining our show, we honor a top cop every month. You're the first winner, and the reason we're doing it is because police officers get so much negative publicity, and we wanted to try to turn that around.
You just said, well, where did this come from? Sort of a rhetorical question. Well, where it came from was people going to our website at keelnews.com and taking the trouble and the time to nominate you and tell us your story.
That's awesome.
So obviously you're just being a good guy, a decent guy, and caring about people.
Yeah.
And what we said before in a couple of segments previous, that cliche of community policing obviously really, really works.
It does. It does. I mean, it's the best. Without the community behind you, you have nothing.
And I want you to know, sitting here, Corporal, that there were over 100 nominees for our very first honor, and you're our first winner. You were nominated by several folks, and you're an awesome guy. And I want to personally thank you, and will you personally thank your colleagues when you're out there today and the rest of the month?
I'll definitely do it.
Tell them we really do appreciate what y'all do. I know you don't hear that enough, and just from me personally, thanks so much.
Thank you, guys.
Ditto.
And thank everybody for supporting us.
And just, wearing 40 pounds of stuff in August. I can't thank you.
Can you, before you leave, do you mind tasing Robert before you leave? Would that be okay?
I don't think he wants none of this.
Is there an age limit on tasing?
I don't think there is. But we all get it through the academy.
Wait a second. So, and I know, cop, in the locker room, as it were, there are legendary stories. So, and maybe not that you would know the guy who did this, but what's the oldest guy that's ever? I mean, like, did anybody ever come in the locker room and say, dude, you're not going to believe what I did today? And you said, what's that? And you said, I had to tase a guy at the Glens. Sucker was 82, but just wouldn't lie down.
Oh, dang.
Yeah, everyone that I've ever had to tase were combative, and they were ready to go. They were young bucks.
Had all their teeth, yeah.
I think before you take off, the ultimate compliment is that we have kept you around for 3 segments, that you're that good, not only that good a guy, but pretty damn good on the radio, too. So thank you very much. A great job. We appreciate what you
first time.
And hopefully not your last. Erin goes on vacation a lot. I'm always looking for co-hosts.
All right.
Shreveport Police Corporal Christian Hicks, thank you so much. Congratulations. And
you might be back because you might be the 2018 year-long winner. You never know.
Hey, I'm down. I'm ready. I'm ready when y'all are. If you call the police today, who knows? You may get to meet me.
Oh, cool.
I'm fixing to go on duty.
Let's hope, Erin, that for the time being, your only interaction with the SPD is on the radio.
I almost needed him yesterday to get my fist out of a wall, but that's another story.
739, 101.7 FM, 710 Keel traffic update coming up right now. Here's traffic.
Shreveport police on the scene of minor accident, East Burt Coons near Metroplex Drive. Keep an eye open for that one. Other than that, looks like we're doing okay. If you do spot something, call that Planet Fitness traffic hotline for us. 687-7623. 687-ROAD.
Your AccuWeather.com forecast. Mostly sunny today, a nice day with a high of 80. Clear with a low of 55 tonight, high 82 with sun and some clouds tomorrow. With your AccuWeather.com forecast, I'm meteorologist Heather Zayer.
This is a special notice to all you.
Did you tase Robert before you leave? What kind of question is that?
I was trying.
I'm thinking, look, I'm about to have a birthday. I'm not a kid here. You know, I got a heart murmur. I have, what's it called? Mitral valve prolapse.
Right.
There's no good comes of that. 741, 1017 FM, 710 Keel. Robert J. Wright and Erin McCarty joining us for a little bit is Shreveport City Councilman Michael Corbin. It's been a while. Hey, Mr. Mike, how are you this morning?
Good morning. How are y'all this morning?
Good.
Well, Erin found a story a couple of days ago.
That the convention center is not meeting projections, nor the Hilton Hotel. I think this has been an ongoing problem for a while, Michael. Is that accurate?
Yeah, there is kind of an old story that doesn't seem to go away off of a couple of websites that talk about it. The Hilton itself, it's actually holding its own. It's doing pretty well. Certainly their capacity is not quite what it was when Haynesville Shell activity was at its peak, but their occupancy rates are really good, and it's doing okay. Convention Center, on the other hand, it's just there's so many pieces that go into how that generates revenue and what our competition is, what the convention business cycle is.
What can we do about that? What can we do about the convention center? Because now it's become where we're pumping money into it, needs a new roof, needs improvements and all that. What's the answer?
Well, I think that's a really good point, is the convention center and the hotel, to some standpoint, the physical building, they're beginning to need upgrades, and those are city buildings. So how do we find money to do that? How do we keep the roof intact, stop leaks and things like that? And it's not a problem just for the Hilton or the convention center. We have it for all of our city buildings, and I think that staff has done a good job with finding creative ways to come up with roof programs, for example. But it's something that we're going to have to continually look at as both of those buildings age.
The Hilton, explain to people the city's relationship with the Hilton.
City owns the building, and there is a contract with a hotel operator who operates that facility as a Hilton hotel.
Do they pay us to lease the building?
It's an interesting contract. It's a long-term contract, I believe 25 years. They get, management company, in a nutshell, gets their money off the top. Then there are monies that go back into improvement of the facility, new carpets, new room furniture, TVs, things like that. And then the city gets whatever's left to go toward, bond debt or building and upgrades or things like that.
Pardon me, Mike, has this proven to be a good deal for the city?
I think it really depends on where we are in the economy. A lot of people, and in the article that you referred to, one of the questions that was asked is, should we sell the hotel? Well, I think that everybody would probably say, yeah, it'd be great if we could, but there's an ironclad management contract that does not have many outs in it. And the other part is, the hotel business isn't exactly booming right now, where somebody wants to come in and buy a building and operate a hotel. I would guess that most large hotels, full service hotels, there's an ownership group of the building and there's a management group, and those are separate groups in many cases.
We also own the convention center, and SMG runs it for us. Is there a better alternative for that?
Let me tag on to that because it's sort of the same question. You had said a couple of seconds ago that the convention center is not meeting projections over the years. Were projections too high? Was there a pie in the sky scenario projected? Is the reason we are not, quote, meeting projections, what's the reason for that? I know that's a rather lengthy question, but it does tie in with the previous one.
Yeah, that's too long. I can't answer it.
Okay, thanks for calling.
But really, the convention business is very fluid. And when the convention center was planned and opened, the way it's explained to me as a city council member from the management team, our management group, is that the convention center, convention business was such that 300 people came in. They had steak dinner one night. They had chicken dinner one night. They had roast beef. They did all this full service stuff. And as the economy has changed, then maybe they're still bringing 300 people in for 3 or 4 days, but now they want a light lunch. They want sandwiches, and so the money-making opportunities have changed, and you have to look for other ways, to make that dollar and make it worth it for the management group and for the city. So that's always changing. What draws people to our Arklatex? I'm excited about the legislature's opportunity to expand land-based casinos in Shreveport, because I think that will bring in a new group of people here, and those folks have to have a place to stay, and often the casino hotels are full, so there's some spillover into the Hilton downtown.
I asked you a couple of seconds ago, is the city's deal with the hotel? I said, is that a good deal? You said depends on the economic cycle. Is the city's deal with, as far as the convention center goes, and everybody attached to that we are paying, is that a good deal?
Yeah, I really do think SMG does a good job, and they manage a number of venues across the state and across the country, and I think they have been very responsive, and they certainly understand these cycles and how to work with them far better than any of us at the city may be able to do. And I think they are a top management group, so I really have no issues with them.
As you're going to roll off the council after this year, what would be your advice to the new administration with regard to what we should do with the convention center and the Hilton? What's the Michael Corbin magic wand, if you can wave it?
Well, I don't think that this council and current administration will have a chance to look at it in depth before December. I would like to see the next administration and council especially look at the management contract for the hotel, take some time to analyze that, make sure everybody understands when the bailout options occur, and if there is a legitimate opportunity to bring in a new management team or to void the contract and start over. I think that a look needs to be had at that contract. From the convention center standpoint, at the point that SMG's contract comes up for renewal, I'm sure that'll be put out for bid. But my biggest concern there is how do we maintain that building? How do we keep it current? There's some lighting issues that we've had over the years, electrical issues as things change, and we've got to make sure that building is as current and as attractive as possible to groups who want to come in.
Shreveport Councilman Michael Corbin, thanks for your time this morning.
Thank y'all, and thank you for honoring Corporal Hicks.
You bet. A great guy, by the way.
Yes, that's a great program. I look forward to seeing who you get next month.
You bet.
749, 1017 FM, 710 Keel traffic time.
Traffic in the Shreveport-Bossier City area mostly clear right now, except for a minor accident on East Burke-Coons at Metroplex Drive. So be careful there, and if you see anything else, make sure you let us know. Call us on the Planet Fitness Traffic Hotline. That's 687-ROAD.
KeelAccuWeather.com forecast kind of sunny and warmer today, near 80. Right now, 48 degrees at Keel. with 710 KEEL Sports.
Good morning from the sports desk of 1130 The Tiger. This is Tim Fletcher. LSU beat Louisiana Tech 2-0 in a midweek matchup of top 25 baseball teams at Alex Box Stadium last night. The Tigers got 6 two-hit innings from A.J. Labus and a pair of RBI singles from Zach Watson and Antoine Duplantis in the 6th inning to nullify a complete game performance by the Bulldogs' David Leal. Arkansas rallied to beat Grambling State in North Little Rock 7-6 on Tuesday. The Hogs, ranked as high as third in some college baseball polls, trailed 6-3 against the G-men in the 8th inning. Grambling came in number 282 in the country in college baseball's RPI, but the Hogs staved off the upset bid with a 4-run 8th inning. Northwestern State pummeled Lamar 15-3 in Beaumont last night. J.P. LaGreco had a 3-for-5 night with a 3-run homer and 5 RBI. And with Utah's 40-point win over Golden State, the Pelicans can finish no higher than 5th now in the West with only one game to play. The winner of tonight's New Orleans-San Antonio game will be either the 5 or 6 seed. The loser will be either the 7 or 8 seed in the Western Conference playoffs. From the sports desk of 1130 The Tiger, this is Tim Fletcher.
It is 754, 1017 FM and 710 KEEL. Robert J. Wright and Erin McCarty. KEEL app, a free download, Office Furniture Source. Let's do this because I don't know the number. So I'll be kind of the make-believe radio contestant.
Okay.
And we'll do the old radio high-low game.
All right.
You're too high. You're too low. And the way we'll do this is the game will be, we'll see if I can guess how many cars, trucks, vehicles were damaged in the hailstorm a few days ago.
I'm shocked. I think this was a KSLA report. I'm not sure.
Okay, ready?
Yes.
Okay, too high or too low, you let me know, and you have to do the appropriate little sound.
Okay.
My first guess is how many vehicles were damaged
in the Friday night hail?
In the Friday night hailstorm. Let's start with, and to me this is an incredibly high number. Oh, God, 15,000.
Too low.
What?
Too low.
Are you freaking kidding?
Yeah, we're going to be here a while.
15,000 is too low?
Mm-hmm. Way too low.
Huh?
Way too low.
Okay, 50,000.
Too low.
You're lying.
I'm not lying.
50,000 vehicles.
Too low.
Damaged in the hill in the Shreveport-Bossier in the Arklatex is too low.
Too low.
God, 100,000 vehicles.
Ding, 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 ding. They're claiming 100,000 vehicles have damage from the hail.
Are you kidding me?
Unfreaking believable.
100,000.
That is amazing.
Okay, well,
companies have set up dent shops all over town just to start fixing people's dents.
I know a guy.
I hate when people say that.
I know a guy who's in the roofing business.
Oh, boy.
And you know what his quote was?
What?
It's like I struck oil. 756, 1017 at, well, in the 21st century lexicon,
man.
it's like I bought into a wind farm.
Yeah.
756, 1017 FM, 710 Keel traffic and weather updates just ahead. Right now, Sean Hannity on Keel.
Political pundits, but these days, that's a good thing. These mamas make sense. Terry Netterville and Denise Arthur. Listen to Mama on American Ground Radio. Weeknights from 6 to 7 p.m. Right here on 1017 FM and 710 Keel. And streaming live at keelnews.com.
759, it's 1017 FM and 710 Keel traffic.
Shreveport police on the scene of minor accident East Burt Coons near Metroplex Drive. Keep an eye open for that one. Other than that, looks like we're doing okay. If you do spot something, call that Planet Fitness traffic hotline for us. 687-7623. 687-ROAD.
1017 FM, 710 Keel, AccuWeather.com. Forecast kind of sunny and warmer today, near 80. Right now, 51 at Keel. It's 8 o'clock. Here comes Fox News.
Breaking news and trending talk. This is 1017 FM and 710 Keel. KEEL, Shreveport.
3 past 8 o'clock. Robert and Erin, 101.7 FM, 710 KEEL. KEEL app, a free download. Erin's got local stuff in a second or two. What's that local stuff?
A car is taken with a baby inside. We'll talk about that. Expansion of gambling across Louisiana. And Zuckerberg on the griddle.
Car taken? You mean like raising Arizona?
Kinda, yeah.
Speaking of Mark Zuckerberg, I guess I'm too old, at least if you look at social media posts by millennial types. I'm just too old to understand, that digital thing. We'll see what it is exactly I don't get. And we're trying to track, I can't tell you exactly who it is. Any response from our potential interview yet?
We are waiting. I'm awaiting his response.
Okay. Plus Fletcher in sports and traffic and weather, and it's all coming up this hour. And it's right here on KEEL.
KEEL cash code word is...
Today's word for the cash is kids, like Kids, like Erin has 27 kids. Well, that may be a slight...
Erin does not.
It was a figure of speech. Good luck, kids.
Log on now, KEELnews.com, and find out if you're a winner. KEELnews.com. KEELnews.com. The power of information. KEEL News now.
Louisiana's safety net hospitals in danger after budget cuts. Reuben Wright with more.
Health officials in Louisiana and managers of charity hospitals spent Sunday and Monday in Senate House budget meetings making the case against cutting their budgets. They worry that the cuts will hurt medical education and safety net hospitals. Louisiana officials are currently trying to figure out how to close a $700 million gap in the budget year beginning July 1st. From 101.7 FM and 710 KEEL, I'm Reuben Wright.
Meantime, Governor John Bel Edwards and the Health Secretary unveil a report on the economic impact of Medicaid expansion. Edwards says, according to the report, Louisiana is saving more than $300 million in state money and providing medical care to those who can't afford it.
From a public health perspective, we're saving lives in Louisiana, and we're ensuring that our workforce is healthy and ready to fill the jobs that we're creating all through the state.
Shreveport police currently searching for 2 car thieves that happened to steal a car with a 1-year-old child inside. Shortly after 7 yesterday morning, the mother of the 1-year-old was on her way back to the car to retrieve her child when 2 black men wearing hoodies jumped in and drove off near Uri Drive with the child still inside. The car was recovered not far from the crime scene. About 15 minutes later, the 1-year-old is safe. A bill to allow the 15 licensed riverboats to expand their gaming operations onto land and to change the rules regarding gaming space has been sitting on the Senate floor for over 2 weeks, but a vote in the upper chamber could happen today. Senator Troy Carter says that many senators are concerned about the numerous pieces of legislation that are seeking to expand gaming in our state. He says it is a big problem that we all should be concerned about.
We have land-based, we have riverboat, we've got video poker. Then now there's measures to go forward with sports betting.
Black lawmakers have also raised concerns that casinos fail to contract with enough minority-owned firms. They also believe there's a lack of minorities in management at the gaming halls. John says he had good dialogue with several concerned lawmakers, but he says more dialogue is needed.
I think that in the long run, the Senate will see the wisdom of what we're trying to do, and I feel good about our chances of passing this.
Wimple Road in Bossier receiving improvements for future projects with plans scrapped to build a new Walmart on the corner of Wimple and Airline. Bossier City officials are still improving the street in hopes of future development in the area. The widening of the road and addition of a turn lane is behind schedule due to heavy rains in February. The need for emergency repairs has forced the closure of a bridge in Caddo Parish. The Louisiana Department of Transportation has closed off the bridge over Caddo Lake on Highway 1. Structural damage there is being assessed. A bill to ban the sale of assault rifles to people under 21 has been killed on the Senate floor. The 9-26 vote ends that anti-gun legislation for the rest of the session. Baton Rouge Area Representative Bodie White says the bill is still not strong enough to stop the bad guys.
And I don't know that this bill fixes that. How do you fix that person that is delusional and thinks about killing people and killing children?
Louisiana Senate will hear cases for abolishing the death penalty after a 4-1 vote from the Judiciary Committee. The bill will roll back the death penalty on capital offenses committed after August 1st, 2018. Now, this, however, will not be helping the 70-plus inmates who are currently on death row. As thousands of National Guard troops deployed to the Mexican border, Attorney General Jeff Sessions is also traveling to the region, where he'll speak about immigration to a meeting of sheriffs. And Utah already has a law legalizing free-range parenting, and now leaders from New York and Texas are pushing for similar steps to bolster the idea that supporters say is an antidote for anxiety-ridden parents and overscheduled kids. Critics say letting kids strike out on their own can expose them to serious dangers, though. But lawmakers and advocates in several states say the protective pendulum has swung too far. I'm Erin McCarty on 101.7 FM and 710 KEEL.
Springtime.
Good morning. It's 11 past 8 o'clock. Time for KEEL traffic.
Traffic in the Shreveport-Bossier City area mostly clear right now, except for a minor accident on East Burt-Coons at Metroplex Drive. So be careful there, and if you see anything else, make sure you let us know. Call us on the Planet Fitness Traffic Hotline. That's 687-ROAD.
Your AccuWeather.com forecast, mostly sunny today, a nice day with a high of 80, clear with a low of 55 tonight, high 82 with sun and some clouds tomorrow. With your AccuWeather.com forecast, I'm meteorologist Heather Zayer.
Did you know that over 90% of male enhancement pills are virtually the same thing that's repackaged, redone over and over again? Why settle for the same old product when you can get something completely different? Something that takes male enhancement into the 21st century. Something that really works. Men, you need to try Noxitril, the all-natural male enhancement formula that will unlock your performance in the bedroom to a level you could only dream of. Try to imagine Viagra on steroids. Noxitril is so powerful, that's why it took years for it to finally become available to the public without a prescription. So call now and take advantage of our special Noxitril free bottle offer today. Oh yeah, we recommend that you use the Noxitril dose as directed. Think of your partner. We certainly don't want you to overperform in the bedroom.
Call now and find out how to get a free bottle of Noxitril while supplies last. Call 1-800-450-1381. Free bottles for a limited time, so call now. 800-450-1381. 800-450-1381.
Good morning. It's 13 past 8 o'clock. 101.7 FM and 710 KEEL. Robert J. Wright and Erin McCarty. KEEL app's a free download from Office Furniture Source. Joining us for a little bit is State Senator Ryan Gaddy. Hey, Mr. Ryan, how are you this morning?
Man, we're doing great. We've had a great week. My bill on foster children made it out of Senate Finance. It was the first bill to make it out of Senate Finance this session.
That raises the age to where they can stay in the foster system till 21, right?
That's right, because, with all the trauma these foster children go through, they're about a grade or two and sometimes 3 grades behind before they find that loving family that will help them get through high school. And it's real sad because most of the families called by God to be foster parents can't afford it. They rely on the state aid because they quit their job to raise these kids. And it's really sad because nothing magical happens when these kids turn 18.
Ryan, let's switch to something you're getting a lot of attention statewide about, and I'm not even comfortable with this.
This is kind of making us both squirm. In fact, we're arguing about the exact pronunciation of the word. Is it bestiality or bestiality?
Well, I'll tell you what, but before we get into that, I'll let you know the biggest thing that happened this week at the Capitol was this foster care bill. I want your foster parents who listen, because a lot of conservative Republicans are foster parents. When the child turns 18, they don't age out of the system if this bill passes.
I love that.
Deal.
Love that.
It's a big deal.
Okay, you're under fire from several reports saying you voted against. Follow this. You voted against making it a crime to have relations with animals.
Erin and Robert, I'm just gonna be frank with y'all, okay?
Okay.
10 conservative senators actually read this bill.
Okay.
And we know it's a Trojan horse. We know that there are groups trying to destroy marriage, definitions of marriage in our civil law. They're trying to destroy definitions of family. And this crime is already a crime. It's already on the books. It's already being prosecuted. And we couldn't figure out why our good friend from New Orleans was pushing this issue. We just couldn't figure it out. And we tried to talk about it and say, why do you need this bill? And he's like, all these horrible things are happening. I said, well, I've called my DAs. They're prosecuting people for this. Why do we need this law?
Gene Mills of the Family Forum, Gene Mills from the Louisiana Family Forum called the proposed law redundant and unnecessary. You obviously agree.
Well, I'm going to tell you, every Christian group and 10 conservative senators caught this. Because what I have learned in this process is when someone says, oh, this law is just about helping animals, you have to read the statutes that they're changing. And it just so happens that the law against sodomy is in the same paragraph. And so this is what we anticipate was going to happen. And I sounded the alarm, some people listen, is that when a bill goes through the process, it gets to get amended and lines get taken out of that section. If it's germane for that law, then they can make big changes in what my constituency is a big deal. This law had nothing to do with what he talked about.
What about the case of a police officer who was involved in activity with a cow, and the case...
Erin, I want you to, kids listen to this stuff.
I know.
And I told the senator that we do not need to be talking about it.
Okay. Our current law...
want us to do is talk about immoral behavior that only 0.001% of the population deals with. And then what we talk about today, what we laugh about today, our children will tolerate tomorrow.
We have laws on the books. We have laws on the books today to handle this. You're comfortable with that?
Yes, I'm a lawyer. I know this. I've talked to my DAs. I understand these laws are strong, and that and we went to him and said, please don't have this speech while there's children in the Capitol.
So what was the fine print in this bill?
You think your show is live? Thousands of kids watch Senate debates in their classrooms.
So what was this fine print in the bill? The hidden material, the hidden clause?
The Trojan horse.
Well, I'll tell you what.
Not the Trojan horse. What was in there that you and other conservatives, to use your term, were so vociferous in objecting to?
Because they have been trying to change the definition of family, marriage. I could show you 100 examples that I've seen just in 24 months, just kind of sneaking it in laws about well, we're trying to protect kids from this and that. And then you read the law that they're proposing, and it says spouses, and it puts a line through men and women for marriage. And it says family is something else. They have these alternate definitions of what we believe in, and they feel like they can sneak it. They can't sneak them in the law with a frontal attack. They have to flank us.
So if there was a bill that was just with regard to animals, of course Ryan Getty supports that.
Erin, there is no doubt that would have passed unanimously.
Okay. Why don't they just do that then? If it's all about protecting the animals, just do that.
Erin, it's not.
Oh.
I mean, none of these bills are about what they say they are. So I want to tell you, you're attacking conservative people who are trying to keep the definition of marriage as we have it in Louisiana, keep the definition of what we say should be a proper union.
And then
I think it was great. And look, he's my friend. He's one of the smartest guys I know, the author of this bill. He is a great guy. He believes in what he believes in. And while I don't agree with him all the time, I agree with him a lot of times.
But then they say, let these 10 senators try going home and explain this. Do you struggle with that?
Not at all. Look, I pray every morning and ask God for discernment. There is no doubt. I have no regrets about voting against this bill. I am amazed that it passed because it is duplicative, number one, and it is a Trojan horse. And here's what's going to happen. It's going to go to the House and get an amendment on it, and that's going to force it into conference committee. And in conference committee, only 6 people sit in that room, and they can delete or put in anything in that law. And as long as they agree, and Aaron, guess when we get a conference committee report? About 2 minutes before midnight on the last day. And then people say, well, Ryan, we've already voted for this, against this. We've already voted for this law, so we're going to vote for it again. Because it doesn't pass. It doesn't go to the governor's desk unless what? It passes after conference, and that's called a conference committee report vote. It's one of the most pivotal votes we make because it's our last chance. To kill a bill. And so I'll tell you this, I have seen many conference reports come back, and they have nothing to do with what the original argument was.
Ryan, I can't thank you enough for your time, but I know there are many people listening to you this morning going, what on earth are y'all doing wasting your time discussing things like this when we have so many other more
Exactly. I walked out of his speech 4 times.
Wow.
I said, I can't listen to this. My kids watch this stuff. All right. So here's what we have to do.
I'm reading the bill now, and I'm getting embarrassed.
So I'm going to tell you, did you see the word sodomy in there? In the first paragraph?
I see words in here that Ruben would have to beep me for if I said them on the radio.
Well, now, Erin, I want you to know, most of y'all's listeners are 35 and older, 25 and older, young conservatives. I mean, they're listening to get, hey, what's the barometer on this stuff? And you use humor and you use tongue-in-cheek stuff, and the adults get the jokes, the kids don't. It was crystal clear what this guy was talking about at the podium. I mean, typically we ask schools and kids to watch debate on big issues. This is going to have to be deleted and edited. It was so graphic. And listen, when I have a bill about a first-degree murder that happened with a family in my district that I'm helping change the criminal laws on, and I always look over my shoulder at the committee hearing and make sure there's no kids in the room. And then I tell the chairman, there are some gory details, but because we're having this committee meeting during school time, and I know there's probably some kids watching, I just want y'all to read this statement that I've typed out.
Gotcha.
And I give them time to read it. I mean, you never talk about that stuff.
Yeah. Ryan, we're up against the clock here. Thank you so much for your time and explaining this, because I know a lot of people had questions of you.
Well, we have to keep fighting a good fight. I appreciate y'all getting the facts straight.
You bet. Thanks, Ryan.
22 past 8 o'clock, 101.7 FM, 710 Keel. Time for traffic. Here's Brandon.
Flex Drive. Keep an eye open for that one. Other than that, looks like we're doing okay. If you do spot something, call that Planet Fitness traffic hotline for us. 687-7623. 687-ROAD.
Your AccuWeather.com forecast, mostly sunny today, a nice day with a high of 80. Clear with a low of 55 tonight, high 82 with sun and some clouds tomorrow. With your AccuWeather.com forecast, I'm meteorologist Heather Zayer.
It's raining.
Twenty-four past 8 o'clock, time for KEEL Sports. Here's Tim.
Good morning from the sports desk of 1130 The Tiger. This is Tim Fletcher. LSU beat Louisiana Tech 2-0 in a midweek matchup of top 25 baseball teams at Alex Box Stadium last night. The Tigers got 6 two-hit innings from A.J. Labus and a pair of RBI singles from Zach Watson and Antoine Duplantis in the 6th inning to nullify a complete game performance by the Bulldogs' David Leal. Arkansas rallied to beat Grambling State in North Little Rock 7-6 on Tuesday. The Hogs, ranked as high as third in some college baseball polls, trailed 6-3 against the G-men in the 8th inning. Grambling came in number 282 in the country in college baseball's RPI, but the Hogs staved off the upset bid with a 4-run 8th inning. Northwestern State pummeled Lamar 15-3 in Beaumont last night. J.P. LaGreco had a 3-for-5 night with a 3-run homer and 5 RBI. And with Utah's 40-point win over Golden State, the Pelicans can finish no higher than 5th now in the West with only one game to play. The winner of tonight's New Orleans-San Antonio game will be either the 5 or 6 seed. The loser will be either the 7 or 8 seed in the Western Conference playoffs. From the sports desk of 1130 The Tiger, this is Tim Fletcher.
Take command of your lawn care needs.
Twenty-six past 8 o'clock, 101.7 FM and 710 KEEL. You had a story in the news earlier this morning. We shan't spend a long time on this, but
right.
it was the number of people polled, the number of workers who believe that they will at some point be replaced, probably sooner rather than later, by robots.
Yet 1 in 10 believes they'll be replaced by a machine or / robot.
I don't know how to break this to you. That's low.
Yeah, and then that's within the next year. Over the next 10 years, I think that number jumped to a third thought they'd be replaced. I'm
so
like,
3
wow.
out of 10. What do you mean? Wow. What does that mean when you? I mean, wow. What do you mean when you say wow?
I get it. I get that that's a concern, but that's a high number to me.
30%?
More than a third, yeah.
Well, how many people have been replaced by robots right now? I mean, what do
There's
you
a
perceive
lot.
a robot is? You know, that lost in space guy?
Somebody told me that there are several local McDonald's that now you order on the machines.
Okay.
You order on the machines only. You pay on the machines. You serve your own drink.
Do you see that as a bad thing?
I'm torn. I struggle with this, Robert, because I want to save the jobs. But I want to save your job if you're pleasant.
In other words, if
I do not want to save your job if you're a butthead.
In other words, if you don't meet the Erin McCarty standard of politeness,
If you're
screw
not
you,
ki-
I'll
if-
replace you with a
yes,
machine.
If you're not kind to me when I come into your business and pleasant,
The hell with you.
I would rather put my card in a computer and order my whatever and move on down the way. I'd rather have nobody talk to me than somebody who's nasty.
So you would rather, if they are not polite enough for you,
You bet.
if they do not meet your standard of customer service, you would rather increase the unemployment problem.
Absolutely. You'll have to go find another job or you'll have to learn customer service. That is one of the things in my life. I always try to be kind.
Hang on just a second. Now,
Always.
Now, here's my question to you, and I'm not disagreeing. Well, kind of I am. Who is responsible for teaching that 18 or 19 or 20-year-old minimum wage worker who is their first or second or third job ever, maybe their first in customer service? Who is responsible? So when you go into the grocery store and you check out and the little girl behind the counter goes, how are you? And you go, hi, how are you? And they never make eye contact, and all they do is mumble and look at their feet.
No, it's
parents.
parents.
Or when you say, how are you today? And their response is, I'll be out of here in 2 hours.
It's for the most, it's parents that are
Okay,
responsible.
No, I disagree.
I think your parents teach you how to be kind.
The person responsible for the quality of customer service at business A, B, or C are the managers at business A, B, or C. The fact that there seems to be little, if any, training at whatever business it happens to be that doesn't take a 19-year-old kid and say, okay, when the customer says hello to you, the first thing you do is look them in the eye, smile, and say, hey, it's a great day to be at KEEL Radio. Thank you for coming to and check them out. The point is, what do you do if they just ignore you? What if you have that what if you have trained them and because
then they don't need to be up where they greet people. They need to be back cooking the
but
burgers
what if, okay,
or mopping the floors.
Now, that's an excellent point. But as someone pointed out to me recently, what if that's just what you've got?
You got to get new ones or give me a computer.
What if there aren't any?
Then they got to go do another job.
So basically,
they're not cut out to deal with the public.
So basically, once again, back to your original statement, if they do not meet the Erin McCarty standard,
I think my standard is normal standard.
Not saying that. But what I'm saying is if they do not meet the Erin McCarty standard of politeness, let's go to robots.
Go to robots. That's how I feel, and I really feel strongly about it.
Evidently so. 101.7 FM, 710 KEEL. Here's traffic. Here's somebody.
A couple of accidents to look out for in the Shreveport-Bossier City area affecting your drive times. A major accident holding things up on East 70th and Kings Crossing, and the minor accident at I-49 in East Burke-Coons. If you see anything else that's slowing traffic down, make sure you let us know. Call us on the Planet Fitness traffic hotline. That's 687-ROAD.
Your AccuWeather.com forecast. Mostly sunny today, a nice day with a high of 80. Clear with a low of 55 tonight, high 82 with sun and some clouds tomorrow. With your AccuWeather.com forecast, I'm meteorologist Heather Zayer.
1017 FM 710 Keel traffic update.
Report Bossier City area affecting your drive times. A major accident holding things up on East 70th and Kings Crossing, and the minor accident at I-49 and East Burt-Coons. If you see anything else that's slowing traffic down, make sure you let us know. Call us on the Planet Fitness traffic hotline. That's 687-ROAD.
Your AccuWeather.com forecast. Mostly sunny today, a nice day with a high of 80. Clear with a low of 55 tonight, high 82 with sun and some clouds tomorrow. With your AccuWeather.com forecast, I'm meteorologist Heather Zayer.
841, it's 1017 FM and 710 Keel. Robert J. Wright and Erin McCarty. So Mark Zuckerberg, Facebook guy, testifies before the Joint Senate Committee yesterday. Senators made up of the Senate Judiciary Committee, including Louisiana guy John Kennedy, and the Senate Commerce Committee. So I'm intrigued by this. I watched a little bit. I watched some of the highlights and read a little bit about it. But it would seem to be, if you watch the highlights and if you read social media or the news for that matter, if you are left-leaning, if you're a Democrat, then you saw the highlights where Zuckerberg was awesome. Sure. And if you're a Republican, if you're right-leaning, then you saw the highlights where Zuckerberg sucked.
Right.
I am most intrigued by what I saw in social media last night and more stuff this morning. And it basically is that there is this digital world, this digital thing, this internet, that if you're over the age of 30 or 35, you just don't understand because we're not cool or young enough.
You don't get it.
And I had asked a bunch of people last night who are in their 30s, and I continue to this morning, so I'll be 66 in a couple of weeks. What is it about the internet I don't get? What is digital? What is internet? I don't understand. Let me give you some examples from Facebook and other social media posts last night regarding the Zuckerberg. And for the love of God, it's not an inquisition. They did not waterboard the man. He was not tied to a post. They didn't go full bore Joan of Arc. You know, gee whiz, the inquisition of Mark Zuckerberg.
Right.
Mark Zuckerberg, victim. Look, Mark Zuckerberg has a website, pardon my language. Mark Zuckerberg has a website that started out to be a way to rate girls and get laid when he was in college.
Yeah.
And now it happens to be the most powerful website in the world.
Right.
So it kind of got away from him. The point I'm making is he's not the genius, the prophet, the foreseer of. He didn't see this coming any more than anybody else.
No, not a clue.
So the question is, well, here, let me get back to, Robert, you're just too old to understand this digital thing.
You don't get it, old timer.
Because it's so unlike anything. We millennials are the smartest, the most thoughtful, the most feeling generation of all time. Sorry, I apologize for being a little condescending toward my youngers.
Snowflakes, yeah.
Listening to old people who run our country not understanding how the internet works, that scares the hell out of me. Let me continue. Zucks is actually holding his own pretty well. Imagine trying to explain to 19 grandparents who the Google gets their search results into their computer box. A little condescension here, or how you can see inside their Facebook machine to get their pictures. And he's having to do this in front of the entire country, and he's not having a meltdown. Wait, one more. You ready?
Ready.
Hold on, let me scroll upward. Finishing watching Zucks. See, he's everybody's buddy.
Right.
Finishing watching Zucks in front of the Inquisition today. No one's asking questions. No one asking questions came away looking as good as he did. He wasn't as rattled, and a lot of them came off as panicked when he didn't flinch. None of them, meaning the senators, have any idea what they're investigating.
Right.
These people need staffers and interns to run their Google boxes for them anyway. Meanwhile, we're out here trying to act hard on technology when they still rock jitterbug phones.
Mm-hmm.
So what do you think that is? What do you think? Let's assume for the moment there is some truth in what that fella's writing. What do you think it is about the internet, the digital world, that all those granddads and grandmoms in the Senate just don't get? What is it about Facebook specifically they just don't understand?
I think they think we don't understand the complexity, and we don't understand all the connectivity, etc.
Let me try this. You have been a little freaked out, as have many over the last couple of weeks.
Just a smidge.
When it has come to your knowledge that basically Facebook takes everything that you tell them voluntarily, and they use it to make money.
Right.
And what was the analogy I used yesterday? Facebook is a house. Mark Zuckerberg is the owner.
You bet. He's going into your drawers whenever he wants.
He is the landlord. You are the renter. When you sign the lease, i.e. sign up for Facebook, when you check the little checkbox, you give him permission for all intents and purposes to go through his house, the one you are renting, i.e. Facebook, anytime he wants. And now you're stunned that he actually does it. But let me see if I can get a handle. Let me see if this doesn't make a little sense to you as from the millennial point of view.
Okay.
And it starts with you have an innate feeling. You have an innate sense, that which is written in the Constitution, that you should have a right to privacy.
Of course I do.
Well, millennials don't really see that. This is a generation that not only doesn't understand privacy, they give it away. They literally give it away not only in signing up for Facebook and other social media, but in the photographs they send and in their they don't expect a right to privacy. And when you do, they think you're an old fart, an old fuddy-duddy, and you don't get it. They don't understand that the Constitution gives you a right to privacy. And that you don't get it when you say, wait a second, have you, Facebook, have you gotten so large, have you become so powerful that maybe you should start to guarantee to your customers, the people who use your product, maybe you should start to guarantee their right to privacy. And people who are millennials, people below, around the age of 30, that is so far beyond anything because
incomprehensible.
Okay, but what they have done is literally they have phased out their own constitutional rights.
Yes.
And if they are
willingly.
And if they are willing to phase out their own constitutional right to privacy, are they willing, and in fact they already are, phase out other constitutional rights, including freedom of speech?
Guns.
Look at some of the rules that Facebook has made, and I'm referring specifically now to, you know what, this Diamond and Silk, two black women who are Trump backers. They have been deemed by Facebook to be dangerous to the community.
Oh, my goodness.
And people around the age of 30, they think, well, you know, it's okay with me if Facebook, if the Mark Zuckerberg bar, whatever it happens to be far left. But they're fine with that. They willingly have given away their constitutional right to privacy and think you're an old fart if you demand it. They are in the process of giving away their First Amendment right to freedom of speech and think you're an old fuddy-duddy if you don't demand it.
Let's just go socialist. Why don't we?
But
let's go there.
One by one, millennials are phasing out your rights, their own constitutional rights. And they think you are totally out of touch, and you are grandma or grandpa, and you've got your jitterbug phone by.
Yeah. Just put your teeth in and shut up.
If you continue to demand your rights. Give me the sound or I'll do weather live. 849, 1017 FM, 710 KEEL, KEELAccuWeather.com. Forecast, kind of sunny and warmer today, near 80. Whew, right now it is 53 degrees. Stand by. Here comes your money now. Don't forget Moon Griffon is coming up just after 9 o'clock. Oh, and your KEEL word today is kids.
Meantime, Louisiana's safety net.
It was too late.
Meantime,
Heather's air.
Meantime.
It is 8 before 9 o'clock, 101.7 FM and 710 Keel. Time for sports.
Good morning from the sports desk of 1130 The Tiger. This is Tim Fletcher. LSU beat Louisiana Tech 2-0 in a midweek matchup of top 25 baseball teams at Alex Box Stadium last night. The Tigers got 6 two-hit innings from A.J. Labus and a pair of RBI singles from Zach Watson and Antoine Duplantis in the 6th inning to nullify a complete game performance by the Bulldogs' David Leal. Arkansas rallied to beat Grambling State in North Little Rock 7-6 on Tuesday. The Hogs, ranked as high as third in some college baseball polls, trailed 6-3 against the G-men in the 8th inning. Grambling came in number 282 in the country in college baseball's RPI, but the Hogs staved off the upset bid with a 4-run 8th inning. Northwestern State pummeled Lamar 15-3 in Beaumont last night. J.P. LaGreco had a 3-for-5 night with a 3-run homer and 5 RBI. And with Utah's 40-point win over Golden State, the Pelicans can finish no higher than 5th now in the West with only one game to play. The winner of tonight's New Orleans-San Antonio game will be either the 5 or 6 seed. The loser will be either the 7 or 8 seed in the Western Conference playoffs. From the sports desk of 1130 The Tiger, this is Tim Fletcher.
I know what the number is, but I'm going to pretend I don't.
This is unbelievable.
I'm stunned. But if you consider all the cars on all the lots, it kind of makes sense.
Yeah.
I mean, especially when you drive down, when you think about how Bert Coon, 1017 FM, 710 Keel, when you drive down Bert Coons and you realize going through the auto mall that was one of the hardest hit hailstorm areas.
Oh, in the Chevy Land on Uri Drive in that area? Oh, my goodness. I would make it a trend if I was a car dealer. I would just paint the dots, the hail dots, and just make a spotted car the newest trend.
Here's the deal.
Not going to happen.
How many cars, was it Friday? The storm was Friday?
Friday night, yeah.
Was Friday night. How many cars in the Arklatex were damaged by hail?
They're saying 100,000 cars in our area damaged in the hail.
That's insane.
That's crazy. Crazy.
I will repeat what I told you last hour when you mentioned this. Was it late 6 or early 7 o'clock hour? That I know a guy in the roofing business. Hey, I know a guy. I know a fellow in the roofing business. And he didn't mean this in a bad way. He didn't mean this in a stinky way.
Nope.
He didn't mean this in an I told you so way. But he literally, his reaction, guy in the roofing business, his reaction to the hailstorm was, quote, "It's like I struck oil."
Yeah. I got a friend in the roofing business too. Same thing.
I mean, we just ran Jay Merle's. They are going to be backed up, and as we talked with Mr. Fisher yesterday, get somebody reputable. Most likely someone through your insurance company.
Most people here locally won't even take any money up front.
Good point. 8:57, back tomorrow morning, 6 till 9, 1017 FM, 710 Keel. Here's Kim Commando.
Over. The big question is, how did Mark Zuckerberg do so far? Kim Commando with your Wednesday Consumer Tech Update. For a company's chief executive officer, Mark Zuckerberg is very uncertain about how his own company operates. In his congressional testimony yesterday, there were far too many I don't knows. His Achilles heel so far is Facebook's failure to notify the FTC of the scandal. In 2011, the company signed an agreement with the FTC over these same kind of privacy issues. Facebook was legally required to notify the government of this mess. It didn't. There will be big fines. And then there was the dormitory remark. Zuckerberg said that for a company that was founded in a dorm room, they would make mistakes. But the company now is worth $470 billion. I don't think that remark elicited the sentiment that Zuckerberg really wanted. I'm Kim Commando. When you're hiring, you don't
Couple of accidents to look out for in the Shreveport-Bossier City area affecting your drive times. A major accident holding things up on East 70th and Kings Crossing, and the minor accident at I-49 in East Burt-Coons. If you see anything else that's slowing traffic down, make sure you let us know. Call us on the Planet Fitness traffic hotline. That's 687-ROAD.
8:59, here's your Keel AccuWeather.com forecast. Great day today, mostly sunny, high near 80. Tis 54. 1017 FM, 710 Keel, 9 o'clock. Here's Fox News.
Breaking news and trending talk. This is 1017 FM and 710 Keel. KEEL, Shreveport.